sometimes there are certain things that you have rocketing around inside your brain that should stay there, Chris. And I think the Eagles would have been better off if Nick Sirianni hadn't decided to be so candid about playing rock, paper, scissors with prospects. But it's given us something to talk about today, and it's helped inspire the draft we're going to have in about a half hour. So I guess thanks for that.
Thank you. Yeah, no doubt. And listen, look, these coaches are looking for anything to dissect these players, just get a little extra look into a player as a whole, what he brings to it. But I will say with some of this stuff at times too, like they can go over, it goes over, over the top a little bit. It just where they're going to, like, for instance, if I was in that situation, first off, I'd probably be at back, if I put myself in that time, I'd be like, wait, this is silly. Is he serious? And I'd also be afraid to disrespect the coach because I respect my elders and all that. So now what, are they going to hold it against me because I was nice and I was trying to be polite and I didn't really know the guy? So I was like afraid to just totally crap on him and dominate him in a game and tell him, hey, that's why you're a coach and I'm an athlete, and shut the hell up, right? That's so you're not going to get a true look out of all that stuff that way. That's where I would fight back against that. And that's where coaches are just quirky sometimes. They'll evaluate you on the dumbest stuff ever. I had a coach evaluate me once, like on cornhole, and I wanted to be like, are you serious? Like, you're going to make a judgment on cornhole, but yet I'm out here in the driveway knocking down threes and crossing over people, and you're not going to make any judgment off of that. Like, coaches are stupid that way sometimes. They really are. I don't get it. Like but they are looking for any angle to evaluate these players more and more.
Two things. First of all,
yeah,
as to your concession that you respect your elders, as Jerry Jones once said in a far different context, that's news to me because I don't get a whole lot of respect from you. Secondly, what's the template? That's the thing. Like, what are you looking for when you say to a guy, we're going to play rock, paper, scissors? Are you looking for that demeanor? Is like, all right, let's go. Yeah. Like, all right, yeah.
Right.
Oh, compete. Yes, let's do it. Or like, is it you're like, come on. I mean, I'm competitive about the things that matter.
Yeah.
A stupid game of rock, paper, scissors. Are you going to get your juices flowing over that? So I don't know what the answer key is. That's what always drives me nuts about these off-the-wall questions. What's the right answer?
Yeah.
What's the wrong answer? Is it how you deliver the answer? And again, how do you pierce through? And this is what scouts are always looking to do and coaches are always looking to do, pierce through the prepackaged BS that the prospect has been told to offer up when it's time to answer these questions. So you want to get a glimpse into the real guy. I just don't know what the words chosen by that guy actually mean.
Yeah.
When it's time to decide whether or not that's the guy you want to draft or the guy you don't want to draft.
No, I know. And, also that's the job to me, of the area scout, right? The guy who's in charge of the Southeast or the Southeastern Conference. He should have that type of information already available to the team. That to go, hey, I've talked to the strength coach down there, his position coach down there. I know a few other people that were friends with him on the football team. They say he's the competitor of competitors. He'll take on anybody and anything. You should have a lot of that information there already. But again, it is a very limited time you get to see these guys, and coaches are quirky. They're trying to find anything they can to just try to find a little bit of an advanced signal of why they like one guy over another guy.
And here's the other challenge too. What are you looking for by way of a personality? Do you want someone who's going to fall in line and be a robot? Because coaches typically want that. Do you want someone who's going to be a free thinker? Someone who's going to maybe push back? Somebody who's going to ask tough questions, make your job a little bit harder? Because instead of having people who just blindly follow orders, you're going to get that, is this really what we should be doing? And the other side of it too, Chris, when I would pick a jury before a trial, and there's only so much ability that you have to shape the contours of a jury, but one of the real questions is, how do these different people combine to create their own entity? And I think as a football coach and as a general manager, you always have to be thinking of that. Yeah, we need a certain number of followers, but we also need to have some leaders, and these need to be leaders that we feel good about, and we need to trust that they'll be able to lead the other guys who we're picking because we think their personality suggests they're going to go along with whatever influences they get from the guys in the locker room with the strong personality. You can't have 53 leaders in the locker room. You got to have some guys who are going to lead and a lot of guys who are going to follow the leadership of the guys you trust to lead. So with each prospect, I think there's a different standard as to what you're looking for.
I would agree with that. Yes, I would. You know, I mean, you want leaders at every position, but you're right. There's a different standard for a quarterback leader, you know, a linebacker leader, an offensive lineman guy, whatever it is. Listen, there's a lot of moving parts to evaluating these guys. There's no doubt about that. And, you know, too, okay, I mean, when does it go too far? When do you worry? I mean, just to throw that in there, too. Like, listen, I was a psycho that in college, my friends will tell you, I was the king of Madden on Xbox. And if I lost a game or was losing, I mean, I was the guy that was going to bash my head against the controller and punch the wall and do all that. I don't know. Is that a good thing, a bad thing? I don't know. I mean, or maybe I was a psycho. Maybe I'm going to be a psycho and a mental mess after I throw an interception because I'm super competitive like that too. There's just so many different ways and avenues this whole conversation could go, and to me, that's where coaches overanalyze with a lot of this stuff.
That's what I was going to say. There's a fear that all that time and effort you have before the draft, you spend it doing things, checking boxes, creating reports, and ultimately covering your butt. I think so much of what happens is CYA from the standpoint of here's the concern, here's why we didn't draft a guy, here's why, you know, if we pass on a guy who ends up becoming a superstar, well, why'd you pass on him? Because you're going to get the tough question from ownership at some point. Why'd all these teams pass on Lamar Jackson in 2018? I remember Jay Glazer reported at some point during Jackson's MVP season of 2019 that general managers were going back and asking tough questions of their scouts. What the hell? Why'd we miss on this guy? You want to have yourself protected so you can justify the guys you picked and you can justify the guys you didn't pick. And sometimes I think it's too much.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.